And so at a certain point, they said, fuck it, and just made dance games for the rest of their existence. Oh, Cody, you were so close to being the first leg of this circuit. You were so close to getting past this stage. And then a car from behind just had to come and give you less than a second to react and just fuck it up.
Paradise and Team Lame Dimension to see who is truly the master of these bad games. We've got a hell of a day here for you today. These entrants will be going through the harsh underground, above ground, in the sky even, who knows, of Paris-Dekar Rally, and then exploring the caves of Atlantis, no Nazo, and then finally winding down with a nice day at camp of Friday the 13th. I'm here. Hello.
I was promised that there's going to be the Monday Night Football theme for my entrance.
I don't know what that is. So I
it's
could
a theme to Monday Night Football.
I could not.
Okay, whatever. Ragtag operation.
Yes.
You get a big guest like me on. You get a big time commentator in the bad game scene. But that's all right. I'll improvise.
Yes.
We're rolling by the prompter here. What up, Gamer Nation? It's your girl Cassidy. We're here in the Gamer Nation in the Dew Bunker, and we got games. We got esports. We got Halo. We got headshots. Headshot City, bitch. We got two teams. Who's going to take home the $1 million prize?
Whoa, you're making a lot of promises about headshots and $1 million that I don't know if I can guarantee.
Wait, hold on. I'm actually... Oh, it's some indie game thing?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, that's... Okay, I've just been informed that I prepped for the wrong show.
Sorry, did you... Did you think?
It's just.
Did you think this was Arcade Pit? Did you think this was Cuso Grande? What do you think this was? This is.
I thought this was Monday Night Football's pivot into.
Did you think
the
this
esports.
was the GDQ trash block? No.
I don't know what to think anymore.
This is Indiepocalypse Town, baby. We got nothing but the.
You can take the energy level down a couple notches. I'm gonna certainly be doing.
No, I'm gonna crank it up. I'm gonna double the energy level. So anyway, we are here with our first game, Paris-Dekar Rally. Cass, you are the bad game expert. Tell us a little bit about Paris-Dekar Rally and what our entrants are looking forward to.
Yes, I am, actually. So, Paris-Dekar Rally is a video game. Certainly is, for the Famicom. I believe it's a 1988 release, developed by ISCO, Japanese studio, and published by the illustrious CBS, Sony Group. In Japan, back when television stations would collaborate with the major publishers of the time and put out their wares in that way. This is from the developers of a little game by the name of Transformers: Mystery of Convoy, though it came out a couple years later, so they maybe had a little bit more experience under their belt. Anyway, Paris-Dakar Rally, real-life racing rally across the Paris-Dakar stretch from Paris to a little town by the name of Dakar, and it was this...
Not to be confused.
It still is, to some extent.
Not to be confused with the modern rock band, I assume, right? Dakar?
Yes. I believe Tim Heidecker may have raced in the race like a couple years, but that may be where he got the name. But yeah, so it would be a multi-day, if not like week, stretch of racing, and it's basically an endurance race. And it's kind of lethal to some extent. I don't know how many casualties there have been. There's certainly been cars who have died on that stretch of road. So it is not for the weak-hearted or the weak of will. So naturally, in conveying that through a video game, well, ISCO took a couple liberties, I think, and I think we'll be seeing at least a few of them as we embark on this mission. And it'll be very interesting to start from the start of this game, and I do hope that people brought translated versions of this ROM.
Who knows? They have what I provided to. Well, at least one team has what I provided to them, which was the fastest version I could find. Whatever I had downloaded forever ago.
Well, in any case, it'll be very interesting. I know we're doing this in 30-minute blocks.
Yeah.
So we will see if we can get to the racing within 30 minutes.
So let's meet our entrants from Team Paradise. Muchi, hello.
Hello, is my mic working? I heard it was low.
It was low, but then either you got up on it or did something, and you sound fresh and clean. It's as much as you need to be.
Yeah.
Richie, important question. How familiar are you with Paris-Dekar Rally before this show?
This is the first time I've ever seen this game, and so far I'm not sure I know even how to start because the directional input doesn't work on the screen. So I'm excited.
That would be a select button, I believe. I
I,
believe a select button will get you there.
but I'm not starting, so I was not prepared to play a game for a whole week, so I hope I can do it.
Okay. Well, perfect. Let me switch off. I'm gonna get off of studio mode in case things are looking weird. Does it look? I can't. So, now. So, how did you prepare mentally for this task at hand?
For this gauntlet you're about to endure.
Yeah, I heard this was a Halo thing as initially, so I just
Yeah, exactly, right?
yeah. So I was driving with my Warthog, good thing around the map all day. So I guess I'm prepared for a rally more than I am for Halo.
Well, I'm excited. Maybe next year we will host the fake version of Halo that was a rally that I had invented with my friend, and when we got sick of killing each other and we just did Warthog races around maps. And thank you, Mooch. I wish you the best of luck. I wish Team Paradise the best of luck. Now, Cody Yuki from Team Lame Dimension. Hello, how are you doing today on this fine rally morning?
Hello. I just woke up, so I'm doing fine.
Perfect. How familiar are you with Paris-Dekar Rally Special?
Not much. I played a little bit, so I know how to get to the racing, and then that's like I don't know what else.
Oh, so you're almost at like expert level of Paris-Dekar Rally then, I think.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. So, can we just to make sure everything's working? Can you both start your games, start your engines, if you will?
Yeah, it can be. I'm on a title screen.
Yes. Can we? Everyone hits. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Not translated.
Perfect.
It's not translated, but I remember the option, so I can get there.
The first challenge.
Oh,
All right.
Mochi's isn't translated either.
So this is the daunting enter your name screen. The challenge here is entering your name.
Oh, I should get a timer, shouldn't I?
Is the one on stream being updated? It still looks like I'm in the title screen on stream.
But
Yeah.
I think it might just might be behind because I see it. Let me look. Oh, you know what? I think because I have to have it open. I have to have the window like actively up, I believe. I think. What is? Let me look at.
Worst case scenario, we can cut between two of them. We can like go from person to person as we give them focus.
Let me look at this real quick. I have to have all my windows open at once. Let me find the stream. Is the stream down?
No, the stream is up and running right now.
Okay.
Team Paradise is coming through. Team Lame Dimension is past the title screen, but due to technical circumstances.
Let me refresh my stream and see what I'm seeing. Yeah, why is that not? Why does it not look right? Can I refresh this thing? What a weird little thing we got here. Because one looks fine, but for whatever reason, like the window capture is like not. There we go. Okay, looks like everyone. Okay, good. Team Lame Dimension, you're moving. Let me switch over to Team.
Okay.
Let me just like refresh the thing real quick. Maybe that's what I need to do. Okay, can everyone start moving around and doing things? Yes, okay, it looks like they're both live and both moving.
I apparently messed something up. No. Okay. Can I press down? Move down.
Check your configurations. Are you properly configured?
What? I should be down.
I'm good. I'm good as is.
Yes, you're good, and it seems to be going through perfectly.
The unexpected first trial in this run is figuring out how to bind controls in an emulator.
Yeah, okay, I think I had like some auto fire thing. Okay, hell yeah, let's go.
Yes, now we're both moving now.
Okay, let's start this.
They are underway. They are on their way.
And I should get it. Is there a way to get it? Give me 1 second. I realize I should probably have an on-screen timer, shouldn't I?
Oh, I start now. Yes, probably.
let me make a timer. Is there a way to make a timer in OBS? Just like in OBS? Or am I just gonna go to like timer.com?
Yeah, go to. Well, let's not overcomplicate things. Let's leave the Pythagorean theorems to the math guys, and we can just figure out how to screen capture a timer.
Online timers. Here we go. I want a big timer tab. I just want a countdown timer. Let me just all this bullshit on these websites. I want a good website that is just. Here we go. Just a nice clean timer. Then I have to add one more window to it. Make one more little window capture. I'm gonna do this in studio mode so people can't see my screen.
I would just say that the NFL's OBS studio setup is. They have timers for days.
Yeah. Well, listen, they get paid money. You can only ask for so much from me. All right. Wait, I don't want display capture. Nope, not that one. I want window capture.
I do see that Team Lane Dimension is making their stops at all the shops.
Yeah. I like to think that this is the stretching phase,
This is the warm-up. This is the calisthenics.
Yeah, everyone's getting ready. They're kind of like making sure they're limber so they don't cramp during the race. I think the beauty of it was picking 3 games that would really help if you had looked up a walkthrough beforehand. But that's personal productivity timer. Here we go.
Some people just like to live in the moment.
Yes.
Some people are like, let it happen as it happens. I'll just roll with those punches.
Okay.
I'll react dynamically.
All right, I'm going to turn off studio mode again in case I screwed up. Can I get some movement from both of my players? Okay, yes. It looks like it's live and moving properly. Perfect. All right.
In the words of my idol, Ninja the Blevins.
Yes.
Not seen enough movement.
All right, so we've got the timer ready. Can we get a reset from our runners? Okay, I'm going to count you in a 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so someone went for like a kiki-ku, and we're getting an ow. Oh, someone just went straight with an A. That's an expert strategy. You want to keep your character name, I want to keep your name the shortest as possible. So
yes, that way you can run the buffer. I'm going to be using very technical terms that I totally understand. The name buffer trick, Skip.
Yeah. Okay, I have to keep my timer. A lot of fun stuff that I have to keep open so it actually captures it. You're treating me well, OBS.
I'll say that Cody Yuki right now seems to have some idea of what they're doing. They're going from spot to spot. They're going through a sequence here. For those of you who are curious because you tuned into a car game, well, first of all, not explicitly a car game, or the car is very. Well, we'll get to that in time.
Optional.
For now, you need to buy your car. You need to actually get a car. You are just a random Joe on the street who has an interest in running the race, is the conceit of this game. And that you actually need to find a sponsor who is willing to give you money so you can afford the car and the airplane tickets. This stuff is not prearranged by the time the game starts. So really, I think it's a beautiful bit of synchronicity wherein preparations sometimes need to be made at the last minutes.
Yes, Now, how familiar are you with the Japanese language?
Okay. Not at all, which is why I ran an English translation patch when I played this game for my purposes.
See, now I am up on I'm kind of, I would say, can fully read katakana and hiragana at this point, and some kanji, but does that mean I know when you put all this katakana and hiragana together?
So I can at least I can at least tell you what is happening here to some extent. Each of these menu options corresponds to sort of a dialogue. This is almost like a visual novel,
Yeah.
if you will, where you have the same, or an adventure game where you have the same sort of prompts with every sort of person you talk to. You can ask about getting sponsored, you can ask about a bank account, you can ask about cars, you can ask about the race. And half the people you'll talk to will have no clue what the fuck you're talking about. You will literally find people on the street who are like, what's a car? And those people are to be avoided. There's a sequence here where you're meant to... Okay, so Kodayuki is actually... At this point has a bit of RNG. There's 3 agents. He went to the bank, or he went to a sponsor who's willing to give them a check, and they have 3 representatives on the streets, or 3 random people, who one of which is the representative, and you have to run into all of them. You have to chase all of them down, bump into them, talk to them, until you figure out which one has the PIN code that you need at the bank.
Perfect. I know. I saw Karuma earlier, which I think does mean car.
Yeah, we're on our way then. We're getting closer and closer to the racing then.
So at some point, people can ask about cars. Kiku, I assume, means like leave, or no, go. It's like, yes, it really means go. So it probably means forward or progress, or like, I'm kind of like parsing this as it goes along.
Now, I believe Kodayuki here is actually close to purchasing their car, and they will have a choice of vehicle. They will have the sports car or the 4-wheel drive.
Yeah,
I believe they selected the 4-wheel drive, which is the standard choice. So we'll see. That may reduce some of their speed. They may not be able to get through the entire game in 30 minutes, but... But
listen,
I don't think that's a goal at this point.
I would say we're not strictly judging our entrance on progression. I like to think it's a more holistic approach.
I'm sorry. I have a button here. This is the test that you have to do. This is a reflex test where you have to press the A or B button as it appears on screen. And the better you do, the better a driver's assistant you will get, the better a partner in your car you'll receive, which affects absolutely nothing except for one screen where they need to lower a ladder if you happen to fall down into a pit when you're on foot, because there's on foot sections in this game. So they're running it again to try and get a better partner, which I would not advise, because it is ultimately a fruitless endeavor. I would just mash buttons, truth be told. There we are.
Now, Cass, I have a really important question to ask. Why aren't video games good anymore? Like they used to be?
Because they don't look like this, baby. Because they ain't 8-bit anymore. That's when all the good games came out, right?
Why aren't people just like... Why are they so concerned with making playable games?
I'll level with you here. It's because, if you want a serious answer, because we don't have the ambition anymore that we used to. The wild, horribly misplaced ambition that an ISCO would have had back in the day to take a game, ostensibly like a major license, and then just proceed to do fuck all with like any sort of simulation.
Oh my god, the first crash before you even say the first crash.
Only have one life left. Yep, that will do it. That will be your reset the race. You'll lose some time off of your final timer in the scoring, the ranking section of this game. So they tally all your times at the end.
Before I could even say the first crash of many, all 3 crashes had occurred.
Yes. That will happen. That will occur in this game. And Muchi, I believe, is still parsing out how to get a hold of their car.
I'll say to our entrance walkthroughs, I'll never know if you look at it.
Who's to say what you're doing in another tab?
Yeah.
Who's to say if you look up how to get through the beginning section? Or, you could cheat at this point. If you go to the title screen, there's a continue function, and you can type in like a 20-character long password that is letters and numbers.
Oh wait,
and
no,
it's just a nightmare.
Muchi's got. I see the car screen. They might be almost there, but I didn't see the investors.
Yeah, I would just recommend, and no one would know, is like you said, it's the perfect crime because you can get away with it, to go back to the title screen, to reset the game, and enter in the password I may have posted in the Discord channel.
That would be. We do not approve of performance enhancing codes here on the Bad Game.
But again,
Triathlon.
who's to know? Who's to say?
We also don't test
who
for
would
them.
know? Yeah. due to budgetary constraints, we cannot and will not ask questions about, oh, you were so close to getting down the straightaway, Kodayuki there. That's unfortunate, because now you have to start at the beginning of this fucking segment for... Because this game, like I was saying earlier, they had some ambition here. They did not have the know-how to execute on it in a way that is germane to human beings.
Yeah. But, I mean,
but
you think about
God bless them for it.
Every single game now has its visual novel segment, you know? So Paris-Dekar Rally is like way ahead of its time when you think about it.
Oh, when you think about it, yeah, absolutely. When you put it that way.
I keep seeing money. So do you know? So Muchi, what store is Muchi currently at? Are you aware what store this is? What kiosk?
There are some that exist just as a trick and that are completely pointless. So you could literally go to them 100 times and they'll never have anything to say to you.
What a treat. Now you might now I'm wondering. Given that Muchi is not racing, could it be argued that Muchi is still currently in the lead?
Well, considering they haven't suffered 100 near-fatal collisions, I think they're in the lead as far as their health is concerned.
Yeah.
I think their racer will live a long, fruitful life by having avoided this nightmare. But as far as the terms of our race is concerned...
Now, Cass, can I posit this idea by you? What do you think about the idea in real life of stores that are just tricks and not real stores?
I think it'd be a really good idea to keep people on their toes, men about town,
yeah.
People who, go window shopping and, trick them, waste their time, have them look at things they can't even buy, even if they want to, even if they can afford it.
What if I go into a Chipotle and I can talk to the people about burritos and quesadillas?
But they tell you they don't even sell them.
Yes.
As just display. Yeah, no, it's a great idea. It's also good for a dietary need, so you can still get the experience of going to your favorite chain restaurants and not being able to eat there, which will consequently save you time, calories, money. Time is money.
And money
or so
is
I've
time.
heard.
Last year on the show we had someone, I think it was a Dr. Mr. Kid Business, to something to that effect, who taught me a lot.
I seem to recall this.
Who taught me a lot about finances. And
they seem like a really smart and cool person, and I bet their commentary was much appreciated in these dark and dire times.
Yeah, Indie has lost more money since then, but I feel like I should have. I took the business accoutrement to heart still, and it really
I believe they mentioned something about how you can't put gay characters in your game because it's not marketable. Well, I think that may have been some of their peachy keen advice.
Well, fortunately, Pride Month is over, so.
Let's turn our avatars back. I think I had some.
All the rainbows have gone away. You'll notice that this screen is a stark gray on white.
No. Well, yes, absolutely. That's in line, keeping in line. Now, again, I would just put this out there for whoever may be listening, and I don't know who, but if the heavens might hear me, that there's this wonderful code I put in the Discord channel, and that if you are not able to read Japanese, or even if you can, because this game is confusing, even if you understand the language that is being spoken to you. Now, that being said, there is actually progress being made. I'm sorry, maybe I spoke too soon.
Yes, the investors are on. The investors are here. Never doubt the human spirit.
Now you just need to make sure it's the right one of the three and that you actually accept the pin code from them. Otherwise, things will go very badly and you'll reach some sort of soft lock.
Might I recommend a save state? Registering a save state at this point. I believe F1 will do that for you.
Oh god, Kodayuki was so deep in the narrow, in the first of two narrows, I believe, in this section. They were almost to the midway point, or maybe even close to the end of this first leg of the circuits.
Now, given my choice of our commentary desk, important question is a bad game that I sort of love as a sidebar. Is 8 Eyes a bad game?
On the NES?
Yes.
I've always thought it was totally functional.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything explicitly wrong with it. I certainly haven't seen it in the halls of Kusoge, as they say.
See, I don't think it. But it's not good at the same time. I admire its spirit immensely, which is why I opted to use the on the stream here our little
of course,
our commentary
yes.
desk being the post boss. I thought about making it a GIF that the skeleton would come in and also give us tea every now and then, but
it would have been a nice idea. But at the same time, I think this conveys the size difference dynamic in that game,
and the effort
ahead of its time.
The effort of making that many transparencies was too much for me to deal with on a Thursday night.
Too much to bear.
Yes.
Eyes8 in the chat saying, hey, that's their name, and they're called Eyes8 because they're on the web like a spider.
Ah, yes. Wait, tell me about the PS2 Paris-Dekar Rally.
It is created by the developers of Spirit of Speed 1937 on the Sega Dreamcast and on Windows. They made that game. It did not go over well. Then they decided, well, that was a bit of bad luck. What if we made another hardcore simulation racing style game? And so they did, and people still fucking hated it. And so at a certain point they said, fuck it, and just made dance games for the rest of their existence. Oh, Cody, you were so close to being the first leg of this circuit. You were so close to getting past this stage. And then a car from behind just had to come and give you less than a second to react and just fuck it all up.
Oh no,
I feel your pain.
So, it's...
Now, I believe Muchi here is actually... I believe they did a reset at a certain point.
Perhaps that's encountered that soft lock with the investors that you spoke of.
Perhaps a save state could have been placed at a strategic point in time. Or at this point, if they... did they go to the password screen? Did they enter in a pass? No, they did not. This would be... they are back on the overworld.
The question of who is doing better right now, really an impossible question.
Who's to say? At a certain point in life, there's so many factors. It's more than just the game and progress and being able to react to, the calls that are being made on commentary where we're walking you through what could be done in a theoretical situation. When the commentators of the event that you're participating at are giving you kind of, just nudges in the right direction. I mean, who's to say who's really on the ball right now?
We haven't seen it. If I see a ladder, that person's the winner. I'm going to say that right now. I'm going to make a bold claim at the halfway
I believe
mark.
that's stage 4 or 5 of 7.
Or maybe just an underwater car. If we see some underwater cars,
I believe that's same stage. I think, if I remember correctly, and I did write about this game in a previous issue of Indiepocalypse. You should check it out. You should buy issues of Indiepocalypse, by the way, and read my wonderful Bad Game Corner section.
One of these days, Cass, I'm going to threaten you with turning that into a full-on book once we have enough.
I will take you up on that. I will use any excuse to have a published book so I can say, hey, I have the book on bad games.
Yes.
But the stage progression in this goes from, obviously, purchasing the car, entering the race. This first screen here, this top-down perspective. Then I believe the second stage is a top-down perspective, but completely different because it's a maze that you navigate.
Right.
Then the stage after that is side-scrolling. I believe the side-scrolling stage is actually a measure easier than any of these first two parts of the game.
Yeah.
And there's a couple more of those. So, really, the difficulty curve, as people talk about.
Cody was doing so well. Cody Yuki. And oh, wait, that wasn't the last life.
No, they still have one more in the chamber, though they are only at the midway point right now. And, never mind. Well, you win some, you lose some. And La Bella Gama, the grand game.
R.I.P. Lived a good life.
I do appreciate their commitment to this, though.
Yeah.
I would have, 5 minutes into this, just thrown my hands up and said, fuck it, I'm going to use the rewind feature of this emulator.
Yes.
I would just save state and cheat at a certain point. No, they're committed to doing things legitimately, as both of our players are at this current lap of the event.
Yes, and know that kind of effort is recognized by the judges here.
Yes, recognized. Most certainly being taken into consideration.
I had an idea once for an event that would be like a save scum speed run, which would be a series of speed runs, but you can use save states as aggressively as you want.
I believe that's called a tool-assisted run.
No, but this is a human being has to do it still manually.
Tool-assisted runs are recorded by players who are using save states repeatedly, and they edit together in the emulator. They do a series of macros.
But doesn't it also...
But effectively, they're using this. Yeah. They're effectively using save states.
Yeah. But also doing stuff that humans can't do, like in terms of manipulating RNG and that sort of thing. Or that would be
I suppose in some sense of the word.
That are not like play repeatable.
That would be doing multiple inputs at the same time, like doing up, down, and left at the same time on the control pad.
Or doing like...
But yeah, I get what you're... I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Yes. You get the general gist of it.
I would do a speed run where I just use the rewind button more than the save state button. So every time I make an error, I just roll back 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's how I've played. That's how I've beat. I'll be honest. I'm laying my gamer shame here up front. Is that I've beaten a lot of games by aggressively using save states.
I will not lie to you. I'm mentioning rewind because it is something I use all the time, every day, for every game I play at this point. Let's break it down, y'all. Let's go play a lot of bad games. I might even write about bad games. And I tell you right now, I would not get through most bad games if I did not use the rewind function, because most games that are bad because they are like impossible to play.
Yes.
Take for example, just a random example, Paris-Dekar Rally on the Famicom. Just really fucking unfair. I think at a certain point, with the amount of times that Kodayuki has had to redo this section of the race, they could not finish the game at this point. They could not beat the game. If they got to the final rankings, they'd be allowed to play the entire game, but they'd come in last place because they add up, like, they give you an extra hour on the clock on how long it took you to complete the race. Every time you do a reset, every time you get a game over screen and continue.
Yeah, you might want to look up Paris-Dekar Rally Special. That might get you the game. If you attend the special to it.
Paris-Dekar Rally is the PS2 game. And Paris-Dekar Rally Special, you may need to also append Famicom to it. Would also probably help. We are nearing the 10-minute mark.
Yeah.
And so far, one player has not begun the race portion of the racing video game. The other has been stuck in a perpetual nightmare cycle of the first leg of the race.
But now you say Mucci is not racing, but Mucci is attempting to track down investors to buy their car, which would you say is kind of like the rat race we're all in life?
No. So I suppose in some metaphorical sense, sure. If we're being generous today on commentary at the commentary desk.
Listen, this is the Bad Game Triathlon. If we can't be generous here, who will ever be generous? Because the games certainly aren't.
It's certainly not going to be James Rolfe.
Oh, listen, I was at a show recently that James Rolfe attended, I believe.
How did that go?
I did not see him once because I was working my booth, but I think he was there with his band.
Oh, yes, his wonderful band,
Vic
Rex
Viper.
Power.
No, Vic Viper is the actual name. What's the name of his band?
Who gives a fuck?
It's
the name of his band.
I think it's Viper. Listen. I know the name of... Listen,
the AVGN side project, his music passion project.
At one point in my life, I knew the name of Keanu Reeves' band, so I can learn the name of James Rolfe's band, all right? One thing a friend told me once that I think about a lot was that he got food poisoning once, threw up in his car, and used a 30 Seconds to Mars CD to scoop it out. And that's kind of stuck with me the rest of my life.
I somehow thought this was going to incorporate the AVGN, and he was going to say, I just took a diarrhea puke in my car. But
in a way, That is the I would call it classic Andrew train of thought, tangentially related.
Oh, something interesting is happening on.
Well, no, we're back. We lost the stream for a second, but we're back. We're good.
I believe someone was trying to do something that would have probably benefited their game, that would have maybe gotten them a little further along the line. But this game is so fucking cruel and unforgiving that even the use of save states has not aided in the progression of this section, which really speaks to just the quality of the video game we're dealing with here.
I will say, as a seasoned save scummer, a true expert, especially if you're using like a PlayStation or Xbox controller that you've modified to play on your legitimate Famicom that you're playing these games on, obviously.
Of course, yes.
Might I recommend? Oh, I think they found it. What I like to do is, you see, because the Famicom doesn't have triggers on its controller, I do left trigger, right trigger for save state, live state. And that is...
I'm really respecting the technique here.
Yeah.
It took them until nearly like the last 5 minutes to swallow their pride, to throw themselves on the sword and just accept that they need to use save states to get any sort of progress done here. But they ultimately came to that acceptance. They passed all the stages of grief and got to acceptance, and you got to appreciate that.
Oh, yes. We've got, fortunately, with chat of using C-Stick. I use the right analog stick for speed up and that kind of thing.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea to put throttle on that.
Yeah. So that's what I use.
Fast forwarding, another essential tool in the toolkit for dealing with fucking games.
Yeah, like if you're playing like your Hoshi no... What is that game? Hoshi no... Help me out here.
Hoshi wo Mirahito.
Hoshi wo Mirahito. Like, and you had to play like your real shit RPGs.
Yes, and just skip through that interminable dialogue.
Yeah,
skip through all the interminable walking. Skip through the whole game at a certain point. You can walk through fucking walls in that game at a certain point.
Listen, I have I deeply respect a lot of JRPGs, and like I am fascinated by like especially older ones and what they have to offer. But also, I'm a busy adult, and I don't have a lot of time for.
You're making big business deals.
Exactly.
You're putting together the zine. You don't have time to be dealing with this fucking JRPG nonsense.
Exactly. So listen, I like Breath of Fire. I think it does a lot of cool things, and I think it's got like a beautiful aesthetic. But also, a lot of its battles are like the run of the mill battles. Like they don't add much.
I'm just gonna okay. So this is an indie game show.
Yeah.
And we generally respect indies here.
Yes.
But I'm going to go on a tangent here. You ever heard of this game, Breath of Death 7?
Yes. Yes.
I think I probably have 100
and all those types.
I have like 100 fucking keys for that game on Steam because it has been in every single game bundle that has ever existed.
Yes.
And at a certain point, how many keys is too many keys? How many bundles is too many bundles? You think you would have moved enough copies at a certain point, but what do I know? Yeah. All I know is that I'm sick of seeing that fucking skeleton, that pixel art skeleton.
I have recently opened up all of my different platforms, you know? Oh, wait, some late-breaking action going on in Moochie's screen.
Ooh, what's this screen all about? Maybe we'll get into the first race. There's a chance, with 4 minutes on the clock, they may get into the first race just as Kodayuki is nearing the finish line of that first branch of the race.
Yeah, we'll find out. Worth noting also that and something Kodayuki avoid. Oh, checkpoints.
There we are. Let's see what that time looks like. I know we started using save states past a certain point. Oh yes. That's not actually too bad. All right, so yeah, here we go. It's a good way to save time is to not collect the gasoline in time that you absolutely fucking need. Just skip that because you take damage to save time in this. And now we are into the maze section, as mentioned. And if you thought that first section was bullshit, this one is still bullshit. It's a little less bullshit. You can drop oil slicks, by the way. This is only tangentially useful.
Honestly,
how many games are in this game? Question from the chat. I think there's about 4 distinct ones, let's say.
I look at Paris-Dekar Rally and I honestly think life goals. Like, this is the kind of design I aspire to.
Now, what's of interest, real quick, I'm noticing that the cheat code being entered is not the one that I posted in the chat. It may be a later level cheat code.
Did Moochie hear my saying, if I see an underwater car, there's a winner? Is Moochie going to give us an underwater car?
No, I believe I'm looking at the cheat code. This is going to be them versus the entire military.
Okay.
This is going to be a top-down shooter section in this game. If they can enter the code in time. Because, as you may gather, these codes are fucking massive.
Yeah, and I was before the reached the finish line, I wanted to comment that Cody Yuki did a beautiful thing of like, here's a trap you can get into, and why I wanted to do that save scum speedrun is if you save state yourself into a corner, which can happen if you start get too comfortable with it, and suddenly you
realize
drop
the oil slick. Drop the fucking oil. Sorry.
and suddenly you realize you've save stated yourself into a soft lock. Okay, here Moochie in a desert area.
Oh, this is actually the last stage of the game. So they skipped the military one. They skipped the underwater one.
Oh my god!
This is the last level. This stage sucks dick.
This car has angles on it. My god.
No two ways about it. This stage sucks. If you thought the first stage was bullshit, now this one is real bullshit. But despite all we've said about this game, I still think it's a charmer.
Yeah,
I think it tries some things.
Oh.
This is what
everything all right on your ends.
I just saw a car get demolished.
Such is the life of... You're out of the world of investors now. This is real life.
This is what the real Paris-Dekar Rally racers have to deal with on a daily basis. So this is really just a walk in their shoes.
Oh, we've got some upcoming heat from Sylvie Fluff of upcoming Atlantis no Nazo player. I would say if you've tuned in, don't worry. There's going to be no spoilers, I assume.
Oh yeah, the grand story of Atlantis no Nazo will be told partially. No spoilers here for the grand twists and reveals.
Yeah. Now, we are in the final minute. Can we see if any of our racers can reach Dakar?
No. No, they cannot. But, that being said, Cody Yuki has cleared the second stage.
If there was a code that would bring you straight to the credits, do you think that either of them would have enough time to enter that code?
No, they would not. But we may well see some side-scrolling in just a second. Yes, here we are. There's a helicopter crashing and burning. There's animals crawling from the sewers who will destroy your car somehow.
There's a gun on your car.
Yes, absolutely, just like in the real race. And that gun will come in handy as you're facing down tanks and helicopters.
Oh, the bird.
By the way, one life to live if you fall down.
And there's it. That's it, runners. Put down your batons. We are at the end. Thank you for both participants. I'm gonna stop this now.
Put an end to this first game.
Yes.
And if anyone watching right now would like to learn more about Paris-Dekar Rally, I believe that's Indiepocalypse number 29.
Sounds right.
I will.
Now let's before we get into our overall judging, let's have a chat with our racers. We'll start left to right. Team Paradise, Moochie, you spent a lot of time in the city.
Yeah, a pretty entertaining city. I loved talking to people. Probably the most entertaining visual novel section of a video game I've played in a while.
Would you say that in talking to these people that you were maybe distracted slightly by the prospect of socializing when you could have been committing to racing?
Yeah, they all seemed pretty nice. They all wanted to talk about the same things, which after a while I learned was the 5 things everyone talks about, which is money, cars, investors, and I forgot the other one, rally. Those are the 5 conversation starters. It's car, sponsor, rally, money, and partners. That's all we talk about. That's all I could talk about with anyone, and it was perfect.
Well, I think it's exciting subjects to talk about, to be sure, so...
I hear that's what Paris is like for most people. From the average Parisian, it's all that, and the occasional baguette, as they will.
I believe this takes place in Japan, which again is completely out of sorts with anything related to the real life Paris-Dekar Rally.
I saw someone had mentioned that this is NES Shenmue, and frankly, not quite, but also anything that we need. Can we make 2023 the year of the Shenmue likes? You know, someone who deeply loves that game for its dedication to real bullshit. But Muchi, thank you.
I think we should hear from Yes, thank you, Mochi, for your commendable effort. We will let you know
for your blood, your sweat, and your tears that you attributed to this event. But Cody Yuki, hello, welcome.
Hi, I was always here.
How was the race? How was?
I have more appreciation for Forza Horizon than Need for Speed.
Yeah, load them up with microtransactions. I say. I feel like that's really what this game was missing.
That's what's missing. Loot boxes.
And you could have paid to skip the challenging section, the top-down driving section too, possibly.
You kept saying that I was like almost done, so I kept thinking, oh, it's not that bad. I'll just keep trying without save states.
That was a fool's errand. Oh, what a wrong takeaway to take. Nah, you should have just cheated. It would have been my advice to you out the gates.
At least I got to stage 3. I'm happy with that.
That's true. That is, truth be told, 2 stages further than I expected anyone to make it today.
I'm collecting the medals here right now as we speak. The winner yeah. So what was your decision to switch over to save states ultimately?
I kept dying, and the game was bullshit.
And what was your technique? Were you using the hotkeys, or did you switch to?
I had my 2 fingers on the keyboard hotkeys because I didn't set them on the controller. I gotta remember
a gamer's best friend.
Yeah.
Gotta remember the triggers that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it's a Kuso game fan's best friend. Or even really like your retro gamer's best friend. So if you'll give a moment, thank you again. Thank you, Cody Yuki, for your participation in this year's Bad Game Triathlon.
Yay.
The judges, we will commiserate for a moment and decide on our winners. So,
yeah, we'll lean away from the microphone so no one can hear us.
Yes, definitely lean away from the microphone and leave deafening silence on the stream. We won't just pretend we're leaning away and speak straight into the microphones like we have been. But like,
all right, now no one can hear us.
Yes, now no one can hear us. Now that we're in our soundproof judges booth that we have at our esports. That's the one part of this event that I did get. That was the esports thing. Is I got those soundproof booths.
And I thank you for it, because it's really coming in handy in this fucking stream and all those people in the chat. Oh, don't get me started. Yes. Anyway, how about Cody Yuki? They really put in a commendable effort, I think. They really played the game.
Yes, Cody Yuki, I think the preparation really showed of like getting ahead and like being able to get out of the city before the 26-minute mark.
Yes, I think that was really commendable of them. That being said, Muchi did spend 26 minutes, I just want to repeat that, 26 out of 30 minutes fucking around in a town, and did not actually finish clearing out said town before just deciding, fuck it, and using the password, using the suggestion we had given them, close to like 25 minutes prior to that moment.
But also, a password that was self-researched, I think.
That is true. They did look up their own password on GameFAQs.
Yeah, or maybe Cheat Code Central. You never know.
Cheat CC, baby.
I
guess I would have to give it to. Well, one person wasted their time completely, and the other one wasted their time. I guess they both wasted their time.
Yes,
but who wasted more of our time?
I'm going to say for the sheer dedication. The suffering of 3 stages, I want to give this win personally. I'm going to commiserate with you this one. I want to give this win to Team Lame Dimension and Cody Yuki.
That's a good idea. Unfortunately, Muchi did make it to the last stage of the game.
You're right. Muchi is the winner. Thank you so much for your expert opinion. This is why I bring you onto the commentary. I'm but
and that's why they pay me the big bucks.
I am but an indie game curator. What do I know about kusoge, as they say? Okay, so let's get out of our soundproof booth. All right, just slam. Hello, welcome back, everyone. We the judges have made their decisions, and given that Kodayuki, or you showed up real strong at the beginning. You kind of you put in a huge effort. You made 3 stages, and you know what? Unfortunately, Muchi got further in the game. Muchi got to the last stage.
That's true. Yeah, for what it's worth. I mean, you put in a commendable effort, but better luck next time. Because I mean, Muchi was just on a tear. I mean, they started off slow, but then they really picked it up at the last 2 minutes of the run or what have you.
So I will say Muchi is our first master of the world. Boop. For a first master of the world for Team Paradise. But fortunately, fool Kodayuki, you do Dr. Doom does as he please, and I'm giving you the honorary toot. Thank you. 1 toot for Team Lame Dimension.
I wasn't briefed on the scoring metric. I will roll with it.
Listen, you can either do as you please or toot because you can either be a master of the world or you can toot because you do as you please.
You can do as you please or you can please as you do.
Yes, and now we're going to go to a break briefly as we prep our next entrance and we get into Atlantis no Nazo.
Stay tuned, folks.
Welcome back to the... Oops, I didn't change the name of the thing. Sorry. There we go. Now we're back. Anyway.
All right.
We're back with the next game. This is Atlantis no Nazo. We've got... Cass, before I introduce our combatants, our intrepid explorers, tell me a little bit about Atlantis no Nazo.
Absolutely. This is a Sunsoft banger from the year 1986. This is from an era where a little game by the name of Spelunker was quite popular, as well as games such as Lode Runner, especially Lode Runner, which really set off this trend in Japan of games that were all about exploration. It's what I call the Dungeon Explorer trilogy between Atlantis no Nazo, Famicom version of Spelunker, and Super Pitfall, which is not to be confused with Pitfall 2, which it is a conversion of, but is something very different. And these are 3 of what are considered to be some of the worst, most notorious kusoge in the history of the Famicom library.
But notorious as they are, I would argue that the music from Spelunker is anti-notorious, and that is probably one of the greatest tracks on the NES in the Famicom.
This is true, but one thing you do not want to be told. You may like having a Spelunker composition, but you do not want a Spelunker composure, or constitution, I should say, which is a slang term used in Japan to describe baseball players who are injury-prone, referring to the nature of the game's protagonist, who dies if you fall 5 fucking feet.
Yes, I highly recommend. I don't know how you research it, but there was a meme going around in Japan of people doing like very mundane things and then like doing the Spelunker death animation.
Yes, I believe I cover that in some capacity, and not for Indie Podcast, but I did write about Spelunker on Famicom, the whole history of that game, and its original creator, Tim Martin, who is some free energy weirdo now, who turned down, who said they were going to interview me, then dropped out at the last minute because they realized I made fun of their belief in perpetual motion machines. But that's beside the point. If
The Simpsons has a steady diet of The Simpsons growing up as a child taught me anything, that if we here on Indiepocalypse respect the laws of thermodynamics.
Absolutely. And do we respect bad games? Yes, we do, as we have for you.
So
Atlantis,
we've got
Nazo.
From Team Paradise, I'm with Panslor? Is it Pansel or Pancelor? How do I...
First one, yeah, Panslor.
Panslor, hello, welcome to...
Hello.
The Bad Game Triathlon. How familiar are you with Atlantis no Nazo?
Well, I got it to run, and I jumped over the first enemy like 5 times until I finally made it over. The skeleton, I'm not quite sure what it was. My bombs don't seem to do anything. That's about all I know.
Very promising start. That's a very promising, really getting off on the right foot here.
We have a friend of the show, person I've met in real life, as it turns out before. Chergy Tables, hello.
Yo, what up?
Welcome to the show. How familiar are you with Atlantis no Nazo?
I am actually familiar with this game. I've seen people speedrun this. I've watched my friends play through this. If you are familiar with the Japanese gaming scene, this game has indeed been played a lot. This is a classic Kuso game. I don't exactly think it's a bad game. It is a difficult game. I'd say if you want a game like this, because this is quite an iconic game. If you want to play a game like this, there's a game that does the same concept but a bit better, and it's Toho. You just play Gensokyo no Nazo. That's a better game. It's the same game.
I would say the athletes in this case need to know their lane and not make determinations as about to what games are good or bad. That is my job. But if you will take your place on the field, it would be much appreciated.
Yes, everyone get ready. I have got, where's my timer? I've got 8 million windows ready. I'm going to start the timer. I'm going to count you down into, let me make sure it starts. 1 second, I'm going to restart this timer window. Switch it back to 30 minutes. I don't know how to restart the timer, but now I figured it out. All right. So, let me get it back centered. So, everyone back on your start screens, please.
We're here.
Count you in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Let's go!
First zone, mystery adventure, start as they say.
All right,
they
so
always
this
say
section here is pretty easy. Like, you just walk to the right, and like sometimes like this game is kind of a bit RNG, but you can mess around with the RNG by sometimes crouching. You kind of want to make sure that the poop doesn't fall on you. Like those bats always poop on you sometimes when you jump. Because the problem is like when you jump, you kind of you're slightly locked into it, so you have to mess around with the momentum. And right here we're in the 11th zone. If we just skip the first door, we're right here.
God.
If we throw this bomb right here, actually, you skip right into the 52.
Whoa, my God, we have an expert
This
level.
is very true. It looks like Team Lane Dimension continues their trend of actually having done research on these games before playing them.
It was almost as if they had more than 8 hours to prepare.
No, I never beat this game. Like I said, I just watched people play.
Yeah.
And then I just booted it up while Cody was playing. It kind of hurt to watch Cody a bit. So
oh no,
so
I'm sorry,
booted it
Sylvie. There
while
were
he was
spoilers.
while
I
he
said
was
no
not-
spoilers. Oh no.
a break-in sequence here. Now, I will point out that
right here, like by the 4th one, and then if you die here, you actually skip to the 91st zone or 90th zone, and it's the quickest stage ever. It's already in the 95th.
we are making record progress here. This is, again, I would do compare and contrast. We're gonna tune in to Pansalor's end right now, and I believe they're playing the game as if it were an actual video game and not some weird conceptualist surrealist nightmare, which is unfortunately not the right move, as we are now going into the 96th zone.
I don't know.
Charity table stream.
Listen, as
so this zone kind of sucks because it's just slow. It's literally an auto scroller, and you know how bad auto scrollers are. Well, speaking of auto scrollers, so you know the Pac-Man World was announced. So the second, like, there's a remake of it. So the second game has one of the slowest auto scrollers ever. It takes like.
This is very true. I can confirm this.
1/4 of the run. But yeah, I love this game.
Oh my god.
Like,
Pansalor is unfortunately
on the
out.
screen.
Unfortunately, you can run out of time in this game, as Pansalor is now just unfortunately discovering.
What that fun little clock there at the bottom was.
You may have thought it was just some random number, some debug code possibly left over in the game, but no, it is actually the timer that dictates whether you live or die.
And Pansalor, though, learning at being sorry.
Here as well. That's good. So yeah, this section it just takes forever. That's why like the time is like it's sometimes scary for sections that are long like that. This one is a bit weird because like if you fall down in the middle, I think I have to die.
Don't we all? In the game of life, I think we all eventually have to die.
That is entropy at work here. Atlantis no Nazo. Now, what is a Nazo? Would you say?
It's mystery.
Oh,
that's
makes
true.
sense.
Yes.
Mystery of Atlantis.
As in Transformers Convoy no Nazo.
Oh, Mystery of the Convoy.
Similar naming from a similar sort of Kusoge.
I don't know if I see that's the fun thing of learning slowly. Like, well, I've got all my kanji memorized, or a decent amount of them. Like, now I have to actually put these to work. How dare you?
Yeah, you actually have to learn what words mean.
I am, but no, it's very easy to get distracted by chairs.
No, come on now, Pansalor, you have 40 seconds. Get to that door.
Oh my god, third zone.
Christ.
We're in the third zone.
Hell yeah.
So you are only 96 zones behind at this current moment in time. How are you feeling about your chances?
That sounds like a lie.
This is the hardest thing ever. This is the final zone.
The final zone screen fucking sucks.
I hate this. I hate this so much. But yeah, guys, we are at the last stage already. All I have to do is collect the diamond and it's over.
I would use a save states as previous commentators, as previous players, rather.
I already created one, actually.
Very
I know how hard this is. I know how hard this is. This is like a curse stage, and I think like people in history have been talking about it. But yeah, this is literally Toho. Like you literally have to know when to jump.
I have a lives count. That's not promising.
Like these bullets.
No.
There's a few things here which are less than promising, I will say, Pansalor.
But at the same
Maybe
time,
consider that during your run. Now, you could have accidentally fallen. One of those holes would actually be a level skip. You did not fall into the right hole to perform the level skip, unfortunately. You can keep throwing yourself down holes, though.
Oh.
Wait, there. Nope, that's a game over, which is kind of a level skip in a way.
It's the grandest level skip of them all. Now, if Pansalor, if you're going to make a second attempt here, it may legitimately take charity cables some time to finish this last stage. I would recommend going left, Pansalor, and then hugging that wall as you fall down, and see if something weird happens. See if something fun happens. You went a little too far left. You need to basically just tap your way over the edge. It is such fine control. It is so nuanced.
That was a social distance hug. We need to get into these pre-2019 levels of hugs where you get right up into their business.
Absolutely. Get contagious.
I don't know who designed
31st zone. There we are.
31st. Okay, good. Good.
So now you're only 66 stages behind. So this is anyone's race. I do not remember the sequence of events that you would need to
Get past
well, I don't want to
actually.
know. I'm playing a game here.
That's true. I commend you on your bravery, on your
There's something
on your
to be
willingness.
said about being, really diving into the explorer mentality, and letting your explorer's intuition guide you through the world.
I would point out, there's a fine point being raised in the chat here from Vlxandra. It may have been faster for Chair to get the item for the stage than to try and brute force it. This is true. There are items in this game that will aid you on your adventure, will boost your skills in certain ways, that will make you resilient to certain things.
I very recently
We've been
watched
friends for so long. I'll show you how gamer I am.
Commitment, absolute commitment in the face of staggering odds.
Chancellor found
Fox,
some...
I am.
I can't tell if Chancellor is just jumping really high or there are platforms up there.
I believe you were cutting off portions of their screen because we're missing some pixels from the top and bottom rows, but there are.
Oh no, that's
in fact,
just how it looks on the
platforms
stream.
Fox, I will show you what it means to be the leader of Lame Dimension.
When leaders of the free world, we are here.
Well, we got a 34th zone.
What? Hello.
And if you want to, if you think it would be of benefit to you, there are tips and tricks for the 34th zone. Just look up Rule 34, and you will find all the rules and regulations and all the tricks and tips you need.
Atlantis no Nazo.
I bet none of you guys can even recite any other rules of the internet other than Rule 34.
63 is the weird
the
gender
one where you
bending.
switch the gender, yeah.
Yes.
But do you know anything else beyond that?
At a certain point in time, this fucking loser would have been on 4chan, and I would have been able to tell you at least 4 or 5 of the fucking rules, but that was decades ago. It was a previous life, and now I comment over bad video games, where the only rule is the rule of nature.
The only rule is have a good time.
Yeah,
And good sportsmanship, I like to think. I like to think the only rule here is that people... So, okay. We are in Atlantis.
I can tell you that that is not one of the rules as created by the internet. Good sportsmanship does not count for nothing.
I can't believe, Chancellor, I can't believe you're stuck at 34. That looks kind of hard, actually. I've never seen that world.
Yeah, it feels... Mystery Adventure starts.
Start and end. Chancellor going to the right this time, I believe.
The music is so, like, hopeful. Like, yeah, you can do an adventure. Keep going.
You know what's so fascinating about this, Andrew? What's so fascinating about this run is that at first I was so impressed by Chair G Tables and their commitment to learning the route, to figure out how to get to the last stage in a matter of just minutes. And then, now, the realization that they're going to be stuck here for the next 20 fucking minutes.
The realization that you can get into a couple of safe zones very quickly in the stage, but then you have to actually play Atlantis no Nazo.
Now, what'll be interesting to see is the same 5 tiles repeated ad infinitum on the right side of the screen. If you look to the left side of the screen, very much still the same 5 tiles being repeated, but slightly different color scheme. So
now, a question.
Real feast for the eyes.
A question I ask you, Cass, and this is a thing. What do you think would be faster at this point, for Chair to beat the final level, or for me to load up a fresh save of La Mulana and just play all the way through it?
That depends on your level of skill with La Salamanca.
La Mulana de La Mancha. Yes.
Yeah,
I would say I am decent at the first couple hours at La Mulana, and then I always say, I'm confused. And then I get busy, and then I forget, and then I go...
Confusion is sentiment that I'm sure is shared across both runners right now. A sense of that and bewilderment, I would imagine.
I feel like I'm starting to see, like, I recognize the... Now, the question is, now, see, the benefit of the trigger style of save states is that if you're real dangerous, and you a Chair, you could start save stating in between these statues.
I would not risk that, truth be told, because this is a relatively short stage.
Yeah, but that's also how you find yourself into a soft lock situation.
Yes, and
like,
you'd have to spend another 5 minutes redoing the entire game up to this point.
Right, it's like
I have 8 lives.
You could also, theoretically, use a different save state slot, so you'd still have the redundancy slots in slot 0, then dedicate slot 1 to this sure-to-fail experiment.
These are next level scummer strats we're talking about.
Well, I am nothing if not scum.
Yeah, we are. I am. As the band would say, we North American scum, I believe. 11th zone. Here we go.
Ooh, hello.
This is the first step Chair took. Now I don't remember what the second step was. It was throwing a bomb down a thing or something.
Now I am going to have to. For the next minute, I will need because it is the 18-minute mark of this run, and I have a brand deal I have to do.
Yes. Okay. I will step aside and let your sponsorship deal work.
All right, gamers, have you ever thought to yourself, "I'm a thirsty little bitch"? Well, I've got news for you. I've got a beverage that will improve your gameplay, and as well as bring you that hydration that you so desperately crave. It's called Gamer Beer.
Ah! Sorry.
That's all right. I know you were very excited to hear about Gamer Beer, and that's what the scream was definitely about.
Yeah.
So what I have here is a bottle of this fine product that I'm going to be chugging as I spectate the games being played here, because it's not just for when you're hands on the controller, gripping tightly. It's also for when you're watching other people play games on the fucking Twitch or whatever.
Yeah.
And oh, that sucks. It tastes awful, but it's not supposed to taste good. That's the thing about Gamer Beer. It tastes like dog shit, so you can get your mind right back into the game. It's a brilliant piece of science. And then the alcohol that deadens your senses and makes your brain all fuzzy and good, that's also advantage somehow, I think.
Yes.
I don't know. They gave me like a post-it note with copy on it, and they put it on the bottle of beer, and then I started drinking the beer.
Now Pencil Edge found himself back into the first zone.
Wait, it's called First Zone with an ST, but everything else is TH?
Yes, there was some sort of issue where they did not necessarily know how to reuse the ST template or something.
I'm just like impressed that they only went halfway, you know? Like it was probably first, second, and third, and then everything else is fifth.
Yeah, because at that point you need to like probably use like what's the thing where you check to see if there's remainders? What's that math? Is it
like modulo?
Modulo.
Yeah, at that point they're using modular code and like determine that, and
and that would take like a couple more seconds to load the level.
Right, yeah. And listen, I sometimes forget what modular code is, or the name of it rather. And they were making this probably what, in BASIC?
This is news to me. I don't know what the fuck a mod is. I would mod this game to make it suck less. Am I right, guys? Am I right, fellas?
Shout out to James Rolfe. What was I saying? Yeah, I'm a rare art guy who also knows math to some extent, which is something I think you come across a little bit more common in game design, because you sometimes have to learn math.
I remember learning basic pneumology for ActionScript 2, the only programming language besides HTML I've ever learned in my life.
Yes, and I will say a shout out to the chat. The Indiepocalypse pledge drive, like the last portions of my setup these last couple of days, may or may not have been fully sustained on LCD sound systems. Congratulations!
Holy shit!
Congratulations!
We actually have a game properly cleared.
We have a congratulations there.
Fucking incredible. That took 15 minutes, almost to the moment, almost to the second, 15 minutes. Share G Tables has come away with the victory on this one.
Oh my god. What a...
Andrew,
so hard!
you weren't expecting that shit.
No, I wasn't. I tagged Team Lame Dimension because I saw some speedrunning. I thought they might bring some expert gamer strats, but I was not expecting a victory in one of these games.
Well, that's the thing, though. You know, the type of games I do like speedrunning are kusoge. I run games like Elmo's Letter Adventure.
Okay.
The classic,
one
yes.
for the Master System.
So I inadvertently pulled in a ringer for this contest.
I think it's one of those happy coincidences in life and in sports.
Yeah.
You can never be fully sure someone's competency before you pull them in.
I know Chair plays games and speedruns, and I'm not gonna check just in case, because I knew I wanted the team Lame Dimension representing, and I didn't want to psych myself out in case you were a ringer, but it turned out. But we say that.
What?
But Penciler has an up arrow.
It's
sure do.
true. What does
yeah,
that equate to? May the world never know.
Those in chat who are wondering, it's Elmo's Letter Adventure for the PS1, as well as Elmo's...
I got 10 points from the chest? What?
Hell yes! Penciler with the 10 points from the chest.
That will really come in handy in the final score and the
judges
final
are
tally.
Watching 10 points in the 10th zone? You know,
Coincidence? I think not. Watch that documentary about The Shining.
Yes.
Room 337, or whatever the fuck it's called.
I wonder...
Now, I do want to just highlight the incredible ending screen here.
Yes, congratulations.
Which we'll be looking at for, I presume, the next 12 minutes and
Yeah.
40 seconds. So.
I
that
also
one has
really...
5 points. Good.
I want to commend Penciler on the bravery of jumping on this tree, something I would have never dared to do.
Yeah, me either. They look like background, but the demo at the start of the, when I don't press play,
Oh, yeah.
I saw the character jump on them.
A sign of classic
Oh, so
kusoge
we're
is
in
foregrounds and backgrounds
Keyword.
that are completely fucking indistinguishable from
Wait,
each other.
important. Keyword, Kitazumi here. Everyone, remember that, everyone.
I feel like I'm
Kitazumi,
learning.
as we go back to the 8th zone.
What is impressive is that you've accessed
Oh,
the
no.
secret developer credit stage in this. So we're getting the credits on the left screen, the game finished on the right screen.
Yeah.
Who's to say who finished first? Who's to say who's further?
You know, when I log into a GDQ and they do their any % runs, it looks like they try to get to the credits first, and that considers to be a win screen. So the judge will have to take that into consideration.
Yes, as well as the fact that Chair somehow managed to reset it so they're at the beginning of the stage with the timer running and the congratulations text still on.
Yeah, so, when you get the congratulations text, the timer still goes and you can die.
Oh yeah, that's fucking right, isn't it? I
Congratulations.
forgot all
Credit
about that.
screen. It just says congratulations. They don't even pause the game. They just let the game go on and you can die.
Well, it's true, because even in victory, there's still the chance you could die at any moment. Even winners are susceptible to the mortal condition. It's the only music I'm hearing right now. The ending.
Oh yeah, I have I just kind of did not adjust the. Goodbye.
And that'll be another death. Will you lose all 6 lives before
Oh, no.
Pencilor?
Yes. What is the dreaded what's the word I'm talking about? You know, I should. Oh, you know what I should put on the stream that I forgot to put on the stream? I should put the thing where people can pay for this thing that I'm doing this for.
Why start now, they say.
Folks, if you're here and you're like, I love this stuff, why is this happening? Well, I create a monthly indie game. A monthly game. Oh, there's a star up there, Penciler. I don't know if you're gonna be able to get it.
I have
try
an
using an up arrow.
Yeah, right. I have tried. Wait, what? Oh, I have paused. Okay.
Okay. So I'm Andrew. I sometimes go by Pizza Pranks. I run a thing called Indiepocalypse. It's a monthly indie game anthology where, you know, I love games. I love weird bullshit. I love the games that are not considered games. I love games that are personal and honest and just real cool stuff. And I run this thing where I collect games from 10 developers each month. I bundle them together and I sell those bundles, and everyone gets commission, or everyone gets royalties, everybody gets paid up front, everybody gets cash. There's supposed to be a slash there. But yeah, that's the thing I do, and this is the pledge drive where I try to I do a fun little thing where I put a 8-hour live stream to kick off trying to make some money for this thing, because I'm currently like 11K in the hole or something for this thing. But you know, I like doing it. I like Team Paradise is a regular mainstay at Indiepocalypse Land. One of them may be the newly commissioned game for this month. I also commission games every month. One new one every month. Team Lame Dimension was in. Do you remember which issue you were in at this point?
It was. I know. It's a 1-digit one.
Yeah.
It's probably like 6, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, and
I can check right now. Let's see.
Perfect. But yeah,
you have nothing but time to check right now because you've cleared the game. So.
Yeah, you've got all the time in the world. But yeah, Super Ledge Hop was in that, and that's a very cool game.
Super Ledge Hop, Double Laser.
Double Laser, yes. You know your whole name. I was like,
You would certainly hope they know the whole name of the game they fucking developed.
Yeah, and
and we'll get. It's number 6. It's number 6.
Number 6. So yeah, that's how I get all these people onto my stream. It's just like weird little game developers that I like, and I like their work, and I try to promote it to the best that I can, and like create a space for people to make weird small bullshit, whether that's like, you know, shit games like this, the games are just like, or games that are bad, or games that are like very earnest and personal, but are like,
yeah, like listen, like this game, I'd say it's a good one to play.
Yeah.
Listen, okay. I believe Bad Game. I believe people should actually play Kusoge,
yes.
Especially if you're a developer, because the thing is, like, if you play too many good games, it's kind of harder to appreciate what makes games actually good. When you play bad games, you're gonna be like, oh, this is why it kind of sucks, and then you're gonna be like, okay, maybe it didn't exactly work out this way. And then when you actually play a good game, and it's kind of similar to like the bad game, you're like, oh, so that's what they could have done.
Yeah.
There's just so much. There's a lot more you can learn in terms of game design if you just play bad games. That's why.
It's like the idea of the 4 humors, where if you expend any one of those humors, that if you enjoy life too much, it will lead to an early demise. So you should spend your time playing bad games and appreciating the finer things in life from afar.
Nah, you should play bad games and enjoy them. This is great.
Yes, that too.
I will point out on the Indiepocalypse tip.
Like, I have no idea what's supposed to be happening here. It's amazing. It's like
I will follow your train of thought, Andrew, to say that Indiepocalypse is a wonderful magazine. I'll drop character even.
Yes.
To say that it's fucking great. I think it's super fucking cool. I think that indie games obviously are the way forward. I'm a big believer in that. As someone who has to cover the industry in some capacity on my own time, and is just constantly like dreads like having to uncover these stories of like what goes into making these horrible games by horrible publishers and so on and so forth. That's beside the point. The point is that Indiepocalypse is absolutely a worthwhile endeavor. It's something that should be funded, and the fact that developers are paid, contributors are paid. And in my section, my recurring feature for Indiepocalypse, which I believe we're up to the 12th installment of Cassidy's Bad Game Hall of Fame, where I've covered a number of games up to this point. And I do try to argue for the merits of bad games, as is my shtick, as is my wont to do. We've covered games like Captain Novolin, The Quiet Man, Gods and Generals on PC, Alex Kidd and the Enchanted Castle, Bad Street Brawler, Jurassic Park Trespasser, and the upcoming game, the next game that will be featured here, Friday 13th.
Yes.
I've even covered. And I believe that there's messages that hopefully I would hope that indie developers or indie enthusiasts would read, and maybe take away some ideas from the idea that, a game can be conceptually interesting, and maybe the execution isn't perfect, but that still makes it a far more memorable game, in my opinion, than any sort of game that would just be like paint by numbers.
Yes.
Except for Color Dinosaur. That is a literal paint by numbers game, but
also still more memorable, I think.
Yes.
I will think about these 3 games far more than I'll ever think about the 16th deck building roguelike game released in 2022. You know?
Oh my god.
Penciler entered the no light zone.
Oh, this is a fun one if you don't have the item that lights it up. Because I believe there is an item that lights the stage up and makes it actually playable by humans.
So, what do you... Cass, what do you think? What is the game I'm thinking of? It's a top-down, it's a dungeon game where you basically need items to progress.
Adventure on Atari 2600?
No, it's not. It was an arcade game. I think like the Namco make it.
Tower of Druaga?
Tower of Druaga, yes. So I'm thinking, is Tower of Druaga too mean for...
If you're not playing it in Japan at an arcade cabinet that has a series of post-it notes posted around the cabinet that tell you what you need to do in each stage, then yeah, it's a little fucking mean, I would say.
a little too harsh for the Bad Game Triathlon.
I will say that it's probably the single most important video game ever made. So it's hard to call it a bad game when it's literally the single most influential game ever in the history of Japanese game design.
Yeah, I did.
Where games today still
watch a. I think it was it was a NESworks perhaps. I forget what platform it was on.
A Jeremy Parrish video, probably covering that in some capacity. Friend of the show, friend of my program at the very least.
I think you had posted that video and got me back into the Jeremy Parrish hole, where sometimes I will just like, man, I gotta watch all these. I love cataloging things, you know.
I have that effect on people, I suppose. I will say that, Tower of Druaga, just to put a nice little bow on that, for those of you who are like saying like, oh, they're probably like exaggerating a little bit when they say that's the most influential game. You wouldn't have any Dark Souls games or Elden Ring. You wouldn't have a FromSoft. You wouldn't have any Japanese developer that currently exists today and makes games the way like that are like esoteric. Like that game single-handedly innovated that design, and at the same time, to put a nice tidy bow on this one, it's a game that is miserable to play by all modern metrics. And you can look back at these bad games. You can look back at these old games. You can look back at Atlantis no Nazo, right? And you can you watch this for like 5 seconds. You're like, oh, this game makes absolutely no fucking sense. This game seems like a surrealist nightmare. It seems like I'm trapped in an impressionist painting, and I have no how to escape from this. But at the same time,
so good.
But the music is fucking slapping. That and it's
back to level 1.
It's a very novel concept. I mean, the amount of variety of stages in this game, the amount of variety of tile sets for 86 is actually somewhat impressive for the time.
Skip the first door, go to the second door, and throw a bomb out.
Oh, there's 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock. You're not helping this person get any further into the game.
I can get to the 50th.
No, I
don't want to go there. I want to play the game.
Yeah.
Go to the second door. Oh no! You died to the door! No!
Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah, so the way this game works is, as long as your character is still on the screen, if your character died, so you kind of fell into the door, and it didn't count as a death.
Oh, nice.
That is impressive. That is some impressive programming from Sunsoft in this case. This game, by the way, just a little fun fact, little bad game fun fact. The first game to ever be called a Kusoge was Ikki. IKKI on the Famicom, as developed by Sunsoft Arcade Conversion. First game to ever get that label.
I would say Sunsoft is just ahead of their time.
Ahead of the curb.
I thought the first game that you would consider the Kusoge would be Hoshi wo Miru Hito.
If we're talking chronologically, in terms of release dates, whether Hoshi Miruhito predates it, I can't remember offhand.
We've hit the
mark. Let me finish my little bit here, and I will let you get right into it. But the first game to ever be called a Kusoge in the pages of Famitsu would have been a editorial guest section reminiscing on old bad games. And the first game to ever be called a bad game, to be called a Kusoge, a crap game, would have been Ikki on the Famicom, even after it had been 15 years after it had been released, or however long, whenever that was published. Sorry.
Oh, perfect. Now, everyone, competitors, please put down your pip hats, stash your bombs away. We've reached the end of this segment. I thank you both for participating so much. We have Now, Cass, remind me, did I talk to the competitors before? Yes, I talked to them before we did our judging.
You did talk to them before this, yes.
So, Panslower, how you doing?
I'm great. This is a fun game.
Yeah, it seems like you're like really embodying the adventuring spirit of just like jumping down holes and see where they got you.
Yeah. There's certainly like, you know, if you've played Mario, then you know what you're doing in most platformers. But I don't know what I'm doing here, and it's wonderful to not know what I'm doing. So
That's why
go through some doors, I guess, and get some coins for some reason. There's an arrow that's still on my screen. Don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
I'm still really spinning with the idea of a commentator going up to a participant in a sporting event and saying, "Hey, how's it going?" I think it's a really great open on any sort of interview you conduct. Panslower, at a certain point during the run, you were I believe it was 15 minutes in, almost exactly, where you realized your competitor had finished, but you still stayed in the race. Can you explain why you committed to such a totally fruitless effort?
It's a fun game, I just said.
Yeah.
I feel bad, like they didn't get to play the game. They just did the speedrun.
Fair answer.
I've been thinking recently. There's been a recent trend in games in like the past 10 to 20 years or so, where games want you to beat them, and I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, they should just go on forever. Let's bring back live service games. Those have gone away, right?
No,
Let's keep them going,
that's what I mean. I think games they want you to finish them. Like the intent is for a game, like it'll help you along, it'll nudge you along, it'll auto save you, it'll keep you going. But you know what? I like a game that wants you to play forever, even if it's a 15-minute long game. I liked the idea of games that don't want you to, the games that are adversarial almost.
Games that are designed like arcade games meant to steal your quarters,
Precisely.
but it's a cartridge that you bought.
Now we gotta head over. Chair.
Yes.
You came in prepared. You're ready to go. We got a good.
I've seen this at a speedrun marathon before.
You've got congratulation at 15 minutes, give or take. I didn't mark the exact time.
I think I also sat down once when I went to GDQ and just kind of watched someone play this as well.
So you're old hat.
No, it wasn't, or rather, it's not on the main stage. It was on the practice room, like, you know, where people just sit down and practice or just play whatever they want. Yeah, there was someone playing Atlantis, no Nazo.
Important message from Sylvie in the chat is like, yes, more games like Atlantis. Yes, I mean, I will say, to self-promote, the goal of Indiepocalypse is to bring more games like Atlantis No Nazo into the world. And just like more hot, unmarketable bullshit that you could not sell. But
a noble goal.
But you couldn't. But people want that. People appreciate. But like, just it doesn't. The market doesn't want it. It's not. Unfortunately, I don't think Atlantis No Nazo counts as a wholesome game. So
give us your tired, you're poor, your indie games waiting to not be paid for.
Precisely. That's me. Anyway, we're gonna commiserate real quick in the judges booth if everyone will.
Oh no, it's Team Lame Dimension. It's
yes,
they
Team Lame
beat
Dimension.
the game.
You won the game. You had completed the game.
That's
Sorry to your other competitor, but when someone beats the game with half the timer still remaining and you do not, that is a pretty clear fucking indicator to me.
Yes. I forgot to make. In all this time, I could have. Now you're saying, Andrew, could you not have prepared their trophies ahead of time? And instead you're just buying time while you prep their little trophies? And you would say...
That's true.
I did not do that.
In that case, I will buy you some time here to say, Team Lame Dimension, we're tied up 1-1, as the scoreboard will soon indicate. Again, Team Lame Dimension came in prepared for 2 games in a row, which is an admirable, considerable effort. It's unfortunate that in Paris-Dekar Rally, that certain circumstances conspired to steal that point away from them. Even though they put in the work, it was Team Paradise who put in the fix, as it were, which it was commendable enough in its own rights.
What might say, the
so
last
award
minute
them the
work.
point.
If you jump, do those spikes kill you if you jump and you land on them?
No, those are scenery.
Unfortunately, no.
No, again, one of those amazing games where you cannot distinguish between foreground, background, objects. It's all fair game. It's all complete nonsense. It's all arbitrary.
So I have to. The score is now tied. One toot and one rule the world apiece.
I believe
Wunderbar.
Oliver will be playing Friday the 13th. Oliver, it's up to you. You have to save us.
Now for the tiebreaker, we're gonna go back to our break, and then if I usually I have my break stuff plugged into Fubar 2000, so I can play the now playing stuff on the screen and all that stuff. But I'm not gonna too much audio sources on the stream, so I'm not using voice meter today. So I don't have the now playing. I should just put that up there right now. What is the song called? The exact precise name. It's Midnight and I'm Stuck at the Airport by Exo Drifter, who is contributor, friend of the show as well. It's a good album. You can probably buy it on Bandcamp, I'd imagine. I think that's where I got it. So, I got it in.
Paying money for an album.
I love to do it. I do it all the time.
It's almost as novel as paying money for games for an indie magazine.
Let's not go too far.
Yeah, I'll never catch on.
Let's just try to be reasonable. But yeah, no, I buy a lot of stuff on Bandcamp. If say for instance I were to host a weekly radio show that was also a public radio show or a pirate radio show, I would also purchase all the music for that show on Bandcamp as well before playing any of it, because it's only proper. I'm saying if I do that. I'm not saying I do that. And now
if someone did do that, would be a fool.
Yeah. But if now it's, let me get my now playing up. My unofficial theme of this, because listen, maybe some of this stuff will get me all struck, but I know this one won't get me struck. Copyright strikes. Will Sunsoft come banging on my door, say, "Give me all the money for this VOD." But anyway, almost done, almost ready. Okay, here we go. I'll be back, everyone. As we get everyone else, we get the next competitors ready to go. welcome back. Oh, I forgot to do my retweets, as they say. Welcome back to the tiebreaker of the Bad Game Triathlon between Team Paradise and Team Lame Dimension. We have representing Team Paradise, Ash K. Ash, how are you doing on this fine day?
Weird. I prepared all night and now I'm handicapped in a way that like it's fair again, in case Oliver didn't.
Yes. So, uh-oh.
Ash, don't worry. I haven't touched this game in a few hours.
Perfect.
As fair an advantage as you'll get, I suppose.
What
In
familiarity?
a few hours sounds promising.
How much familiarity do you have with Friday the 13th for the NES, Ash?
You told me that it's gonna be one of the games we are gonna play yesterday, and I did a lot of research, and right now there's like 3 huge notes of how the game works.
I'm checking a running theme that's
Yes.
continued through all 3 of the games that we selected for the teams today, between Team Paradise and Team Lame Dimension.
Well, that was
Again, possibly due to the fact that one team had
Ash's
8
Team
hours
Paradise,
to prepare.
Cass. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And
'Cause
Oliver,
Team Lame Dimension is done there.
Oliver, what's your familiarity with Friday the 13th?
Nothing.
Perfect.
I haven't seen this movie. This game wasn't released when I was born yet. Why am I here? What am I doing?
Because you know, this is how you get roped into this big mess that I run.
Cher, you chose one of the busiest person.
What? Oliver, I woke up early for you. Well, these past few days are.
There's some contention among teammates here
Well,
as
okay,
Chair
so,
Tables has
Oliver,
returned.
Chair, I'm going to have to ask you to return to the bench, please. Please. Can we get our Cass? Tell us a little bit about Friday the 13th.
Oh, I will do what I can. This is a game published by LJN, colloquially known as Laughin' Jokin' Numbnuts, released February 1989. Was it released on Friday the 13th? No one knows. It is impossible to get release dates for any fucking NES game, down to the day. But what's of interest is that this is from the creators of this is from the studio Atlas. Atlas made this fucking game, and yes, I mean the Atlas you're thinking of. I'm talking that Persona Atlas. I'm talking that Devil Survivor 2, the animation Atlas.
Yes, the well-loved studio that we all know now, and can't stop talking.
Of course, Friday the 13th, popular movie franchise. Arguably a pretty dog shit movie franchise in the grand scheme of things, unless you really get off of those slashers and whatnot. But hey, at a certain point, they decided, hey, we got licenses, we made some figures. That's LJN's was function before they were publishing games, was to publish action figures, if you can publish action figures. And that's how they got hold of so many licenses back in the day, and were enabled and encouraged to create so many video games based on those licensed properties. So yeah, I don't know. This one is kind of great. Kind of gets a bum rap. You hunt down Jason, and it's actually maybe one of the more compelling gameplay loops. It's one of the simple ones for what it is, but it's still a immensely satisfying one by this commentator's estimation.
Yeah, I have a deeper. I mean, to bring it back to the oops, my little thing's up there. To bring it all back to even the action figures, you can purchase, or at least one of the Comic-Con exclusives at some point was NES color palette Friday the 13th, or Jason, that's his name.
Yep, that's very true.
Because it's like, listen, these games, it's like what we were saying during Atlantis no Nazo. These games are bad, but they're memorable, you know? There's something to them, and a draw to them. But if we get both guests or both competitors up to the start screen, and we will begin the game.
On like one screen passed, so
yeah,
I'm ready.
Yeah, I would start from the camp counselor screen just to make sure it doesn't auto loop back into the
let's get to the map
credit screen.
Okay,
where your choice of counselor will dictate the pace you take the initial game at.
Right.
The initial leg of the game.
We're giving it a 3,
Oh, no.
2, 1, and you're
Oh,
off,
no.
runners. Perfect. Use the torch to light the fireplaces, as they say.
And by torch, they mean lighter, which is some real British shit.
Yeah. Well,
Atlas not a British company, if I recall correctly. I think they're Japanese.
Oh, there's a lighter right away on Oliver's side. Almost immediately.
Is it really important? I don't know.
Uh-oh.
They just told me, go get it.
Uh-oh.
Go get it. Okay.
Well, it's fortunate that you were advised of that, because that lighter will come in handy if you're looking to pursue the items that you can grab over the course of this game. If you're looking to upgrade your arsenal, maybe collect Pamela Voorhees' sweater.
Yeah.
Machetes.
I have to remember.
All manner of items and equipment you can gather for your camp counselors in this game.
I see. I'm like this character I'm using. I'm shuffling nervously.
Yeah.
And jumping, shuffling nervously.
I do believe Mark has a speed advantage, so it's a fortuitous choice that both players managed to land on Mark.
Yeah, these counselors are not what you would call balanced in any way. There are some.
No, some of them are really good at paddling boats,
Yeah.
which is maybe the most useless skill at the expense of their health, their speed, their attack, everything else. But goddamn, can they row a boat?
Are you saying the advantage of increasing the likelihood that you'll see Jason screaming through the pond like a motorboat is not an advantage?
Not in the strictest sense of the word, which is that it doesn't help you finish this fucking game. So,
but you love to see it, folks. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of. This is a very kind of like what's a lot of these. The other games were very busy in terms of gameplay, but this game also has a very busy UI. Where you've got children.
Absolutely. There's your health meter to consider, your counselor of choice always grinning at you, your weapon that's currently selected. The top left corner of the screen goes to show how many. I forget what the top left corner is. I know the children. It's a timer, is what it is.
Yeah.
So Jason is about to murder some children, and if you let that timer expire before making it to the lake at the center of the map and getting to the cabins where the children are protected, you'll lose a couple.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so
it would be nice if the game ran in more than 3 FPS.
Yes, that would be very helpful.
Yes, a challenge that Ash is having to run into is the NES, obviously one of the most demanding consoles of our time, obviously one of the most difficult to emulate. Only recent innovations have allowed this miraculous supercomputer to run on a modern-day computer.
Oh,
to run
but
our
Ash,
It's a challenge.
Jason.
I can't get out of the cabin. SMH.
You can go ahead and light that. No!
No.
Well, you were so close to doing something that would have actually been productive, which would have been lighting the fireplace, but instead you decide to restart the game in a very odd decision there.
But
George is down. I'm gonna get another lighter.
R.I.P. to
there
George.
R.I.P.
Valiantly fighting Jason in this, honestly, Punch-Out inspired segment in which you fight Jason Voorhees, as it were. Voorhees.
You know what's fascinating is that the fight against Jason Voorhees does require some amount of timing, does require some amount of dodging and weaving and punching. Going to be very difficult to do when your computer cannot run an NES game from the year 1980.
The weirdest thing is it was able to do so like 15 minutes ago while I was practicing.
I bet it is a combination of that and streaming at the same time that is causing a hiccup on you. But I gotta say, commendable all things considered still.
And now,
say this game was released on 1989.
Yes.
You guys played this?
I did not play it in 1989, but I played it several years later.
Okay, now I understand why the counselors had sex in the cabin instead. They weren't playing this game.
No, they were avoiding. Oh.
Why is this? Why are nuns chasing me?
Oh, those are.
I would recommend,
zombies,
Ash. Is there any chance you can shrink the window and not run it in full screen? Would that somehow?
Oh, it is already tiny.
Okay, it did not help. I'm still not.
No, I was saying for Ash, for Oliver, you were doing just fine, but.
Okay.
Just trying to find ways to. I mean, this is all could be a situation where the legitimate console that I provided could be more require more horsepower than I thought.
I can't find him. I'm trying.
Well, map screen, a very confusing part of Friday the 13th for many a new player.
Yes.
Where figuring out what direction is clockwise and counterclockwise can be quite a confusing feat.
Navigating 3D space on a 2D plane. It's kind of like a ongoing theme of this, of I guess the Kusuge in general is navigating space, and wow, why is it so hard? Now we have Ash back in a house with a key and a lighter. So really, despite the lack of frames, making up for frames with know-how,
with knowledge of the game.
Yes.
Yeah. So now I'm just taking a stroll.
But some children are in danger. No, the counselors are in danger. Right? Yes.
And they're not my children. I'm not worried about them.
I'm remembering how this game works fully. The top alarm, when that's blinking, that means Jason is killing a counselor. When the bottom
and you have limited time to go rescue them before their health is depleted to 0, and they are no longer a choice of playable character.
And then the bottom one is when he's killing children. And those are just numbers.
Oh no, the children's are counting down.
Yes, when the children are counting down, you better watch out. You better find where Jason is at.
So, could I ask help from the host? You said
in what way?
You said to light up the fireplace. I don't know what that does, but should I do it now? Oh, I found him. Never mind.
At this point, it doesn't probably matter because that's to do a side quest effectively that will get you better, more powerful weapons. But I would be amazed if anyone figures out how to progress the game at this point.
As if we see a pitchfork or a sweater, I will be very impressed.
You won't.
Now, I realize this might be breaking from format.
Yes.
And I realize this might be
complicating
a potentially complicated situation. But...
Yeah. Don't. Actually, no. Don't help me. I brought this to myself. Witcher brought it to himself. He brought an artist to a gaming stream.
That's quite all right. Don't worry. You do what you will. I just had a thought, and Andrew, I don't know if you've noticed, there's a new potential. There should be another potential video that you can leverage in this case.
And what is that now?
I don't know, to see what screen is getting shared right now.
I see two screens. I feel like I'm not looking inside disc. Oh, you see, I have them all hidden. Are you sharing a screen?
I am, as a matter of fact.
Give me a second. Oh wait, let's see what happens if I. What do you got?
Oh, I don't know. I wonder what it could be in this scenario.
Oh, is it you playing? No, get out of here. You're not allowed. Nice try. Stop watching. No experts. Listen, I respect deeply Ash's commitment. Look, saving the kids. You don't need frames to do that, Matt. You don't need frames to save the kids.
We'll see.
Oh, I live.
Yeah, so listen.
One question I have is where all the fireplaces are.
I would not worry about that because that side quest is specifically for getting more powerful weapons. It is not necessary for completion of the game. I would just focus on upgrading the weapons with what's available. Not to give the game away here, but if you just continue to kill zombies in the overworld, eventually they drop ever more powerful weapons, which will actually take off more of Jason's health every time you hit him with it.
Hold on.
Can we please have one moment of silence real quick for Chrissy on Ash's side? Thank you, Cass. I had to. Chrissy fought bravely throwing those rocks at Jason, but
yes, I know it is a tough It's tough to watch, especially on stream.
Now, would you say, in with its stalking protagonist, its persistent health bar, and its large cast of characters, that Friday the 13th for the NES is just the ancient precursor to the modern asynchronous horror game?
I suppose in the sense that it's a single player game. It's probably not. It's probably not a or asynchronous. Or do you mean like where one character plays as the boss, as it were?
Yes.
Is that asynchronous?
Yes.
I am not up on my gamer terms.
Yeah, that is asynchronous because you were playing. Oh, we've got some
asymmetrical. I believe the word you're looking for is asymmetrical.
That's what I was looking for.
It came to me a little late.
Yes, we've got some exciting Crystal Lake play.
There's only so many children left,
and there they are. Thank you, they say.
Can they be saved?
Is there a way
Please don't kill us.
Is there a way to tell if there is a fireplace by looking at a building? I don't remember.
The large buildings are the ones that have fireplaces. The small ones are ones you can go into to switch characters, or something like that. I could have that completely reversed. But there are some buildings you can stop in, and when you're inside of them, you can change which character you're playing as to get to different parts of the map that much quicker, in case you should need to get across the map more rapidly than the timer allots for.
Yeah.
However, it might be the small houses that have the fireplaces. But again, I would not recommend pursuing the fireplaces. This is a true fool's folly to pursue this goal at this current moment in time.
Unless perhaps I would say, unless you prepare it and you know most of the steps of the way there. Because then I think you can get that. Oh, nope, there he is. Oh, just a
tactical dodge returning inside.
A split-second dodge in the aquatic Jason there. The speedboat Jason. Why can he... Listen, now, I'm not a horror movie expert. I saw the first Friday the 13th. I'm like, this movie's kind of bad. I think there's...
It is nighttime now, by the way. At least on Ash's end, which means that enemies will hit that much harder, including Jason.
Now,
really just the worst possible scenario.
Yes. Now I'm. Oh, there. And speaking of hitting harder, and speaking of Jason, the man of the hour himself.
Yes, you're speaking about the movie franchise, and never really particularly great movies, but they are ubiquitous, to say the least.
Yeah, I think there is some merit between some slashers. Like in the first one, they were attempting something, I believe, in some cases. But I've seen the first Friday the 13th, and I'm like, no, this is schlock. But my question is did Jason not die by drowning? And if so, how is he such a good swimmer in death?
The retcon that was, I believe, stated in some fucking comic book. So, real hardcore nerd shit, is that Jason did not drown in the swamp. He merely got lost in the forest and wandered there for years, and his mother somehow never found him despite spending years still at the camp committing murders. And then one day, when Pamela Voorhees was committing murders, Jason, from across the lake, managed to spot her decapitated by said counselor that she was attempting to slaughter. Alice, maybe? Can't remember the names of these throwaway characters. Anyway, that's what turned him into a killer, and the whole nightmare scene at the end of the first movie where the kid Jason emerges from the lake is apparently just hallucination, is just Alice's losing her mind because of all the tragedy that she incurred. By the way, there's this fucking guy who calls himself First Jason, who has a band called First Jason, and it is based on the fact that he performed as that child who grabbed the boat in the ending of the original Friday the 13th. And this man has done absolutely nothing else in his life. He has accomplished absolutely nothing except attending horror conventions up until around the year 2022, probably still going to this day, and still baking off the fact that he starred in approximately 10 seconds of film 30, 40 years ago.
I wonder if he was at the same convention that I was at. Seems like the right kind of...
He goes to all of them!
Seems the right kind of vibe.
I would also say that, famous horror movie fact is repeated in Scream, the movie, that Who is the killer in the first Friday the 13th movie? Do you know? Try answering at home. Surprise! It's not Jason. It's Jason's mother, Pamela Voorhees.
Isn't it like the decapitated Medusa head of Pamela Voorhees? That floats
No,
around?
that's in the second movie, where Jason, before killing Alice, the protagonist of the first movie, leaves his own mother's head in a fridge so that she opens it, screams, and then he kills her. And then he builds a shrine to said mother that he takes the head back to, which is the basis for the flying Medusa head in this game, Friday the 13th.
Sorry, I get all my knowledge from this game, all my lore knowledge.
Did you also know there is a Commodore 64 and ZX Spectrum version of Friday the 13th, by which I mean a completely different game by completely different people. I believe a Domark Limited that came with blood capsules that you could put in your mouth and pretend that you've been murdered by Jason Voorhees, I suppose.
Is that the one? No, I'm thinking of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Commodore 64 game, I believe.
I don't believe there was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game on
Maybe I am
Commodore
thinking of
64.
Friday the 13th then. I have one in my brain, in my mind.
Describe it. Paint a picture with your mind, with your words.
It looks like a Commodore game. It's got like 4 colors, and there's a dude running around. I have so many screens open, I don't want to mess anything up, so I can't look at anything. So
Friday the 13th is the one where Jason disguises himself as other people
yes, okay,
that you're meant to protect.
That is the one I was thinking of then.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre received its first and only video game of official import on the Atari 2600, in which you play as Leatherface.
Yes,
and
that game
massacre
also
people.
sucks.
Yes, it does, but it's from the people who would go on to create aforementioned game Spelunker.
What a treat! I would say tune in 10 months from now to indieapocalypse.com/stream if you want to see some Spelunker. That's my version of, come to, if you want an asking, is if you want to see some Spelunker. Or, like, just treat yourself after the stream and just listen to the level 1 theme to Spelunker.
You win for now. Ash K has beaten Jason into submission.
Amazing!
For now.
Congratulations!
I think it might have been like the low frame rate.
Yeah,
Just like cheating.
And beating Jason for now, I believe, means that you
I believe you have our first proper game over. You and your friends are dead. Game over.
That is, I believe, beating Jason for now is getting rid of 2 health bars or something like that. 2 ticks of the health bar.
Yes, at this current point, or it's just a matter of if you have a high damaging weapon. I think it's just a matter of how many times you hit them, and whether or not that does however many ticks of damage is ultimately irrelevant versus just the hit count, which is why you want to stock up on the preferable weapons so you're doing more damage in the limited time you're allotted.
Get those knives, is the best one you can get the torch? Is that the best one you can get from killing the zombies?
I believe the best you can get from killing zombies is no, the torch wouldn't. I think you need to kill Pamela to get the torch.
Okay.
The machete. When you kill 60 zombies, you get the machete.
Okay. But then you need does it go rock, knife, machete, pitchfork, torch, or torch, pitchfork?
It goes axe, torch, pitchfork.
Oh, okay. And we've seen a lot of real sneaky stuff. We saw a code to the last level of Paris-Dekar Rally. We saw an honest-to-God speed run of Atlantis No Nazo, but I don't think we're going to be seeing Pamela Voorhees here tonight.
No, not unless someone went to the forest in the middle of the woods. We will not be seeing the key. We will not be seeing the lead. Let's see here. The flashlight or the sweater, for that matter.
The problem in the forest is that there's no map and you just get lost immediately.
Yes. Unnavigable, you might call it.
It is a row of trees.
I'd like you to notice that Laura has different hair color in the game than she does on the select screen. And the character that I died as first also has the opposite hair color as she does in the select screen.
Well,
for no
You're right.
reason.
Toss this game in the garbage. It's a piece of diarrhea dog shits.
Ash, you have to understand that the select screen is the camp
Yeah, I
counselor
know.
photos that they took when they were signing up, but they're high schoolers, so they've since changed their hair by the time it was time for them to actually attend the camp and get it ready for the kids. That's my
Some deep lore in there.
Thank you. That's my no prize. Thank you very much.
Amazing.
I love purple. I love purple overalls, blue hockey mask, Jason. It's my favorite look of his, really.
I'm sorry, I just had a really bad swig of gamer beer.
Oh yeah, no worries.
That is warm. That is warm, and it is not good. I don't know if it was very good to start with, but now it's even worse.
I'm gonna get some beer after this. I'm gonna after 8 hours, I'm just gonna go hang with the friend, and, just hang out and get beer, But
hang out with the boys at the bar.
Not at the bar. I go to a beer place, and then I get beer that costs.
Do they have gamer beer on tap?
No, I like to get beer that has pictures of monks on it. I think that's good beer usually.
Because if it's monk approved.
Exactly. The happier the monk looks, the happier I usually am. My beer strategy is to buy expensive beers, but once every 2 months.
Treat yourself, as they say.
Yeah. And listen, I haven't been able to switch over to the pledge thing in this stream at all because I don't want to break anything. But assuredly, I've crested 10K at this point, I assume.
You would have to assume
that this whole thing...
Now, I would note that players have been picking up health items, have been picking up the health cauldrons, but not been using them. You would have to go inside of one of the buildings, the cabins, to do that.
And use Cure.
And access the inventory menu, yes.
Wow, games used to be
Might be recommended if you're down to 1 or 2 counselors at this point.
Also, I gotta say, a running theme, I kind of like the music in this game.
Oh, absolutely. Even the worst games have some of the best music. In fact, they frequently do. 2009's Wet, for example.
Oh, I had a friend who played all of Wet.
Oh, by the way, it's actually not the cure button. That's how you cure other counselors.
Oh, sorry, right, yeah.
Is it? I think take his environment. I think there's some... It might be that you have to give it to someone? the potion to one of the other surviving counselors. Or maybe it's change. No, change is if there's another counselor there. I'm misremembering the details of this. This is maybe not the most intuitive menu system in a video game, as it turns out.
And none of these options do anything?
That says there's not another counselor in the room.
Yeah. Well, if there was another counselor, you could change, pass, change, and then cure, I believe.
I would rather die than memorize everything here.
Well, guess what? That may be in your future in this game. If the right things are going.
You know what? This could have been a shorter movie if the mom just asked for a lawyer. Sue the camp SMH.
That would have been like
could
a very...
Could have been a different movie.
That would have been a very different style of movie. A legal drama.
But a shorter one.
Yeah.
No Jason Diaz.
Or, you know what? Maybe she just looked in the woods for her damn kid. She would solve all these problems. Oh, there. Uh-oh.
What will be done by Ash? Oh, they'll take the damage in this case.
Yeah, that's
Can they make it to the cabin in order to use that health? No, they can't. They will die in the water. They will drown to death. Oh, never mind.
Because I had a health item.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's how I forgot that shit. Okay. All right.
Ash with the clutch revive, saving the kids. Another thank you from... I'm looking at the left screen, and is this Ash K or is this Godzilla? Because they are friends of the children, after all.
Isn't it Mothra who's friend of the children?
I thought that Godzilla eventually became friend to the children as well in a weird turn of events. I recently... Listen, we're not going to talk about kaiju stuff. I watched some kaiju stuff recently. It's kind of... There's some fun stuff in there.
Giant monsters, who knew?
Yes. What about... So, what's the name of that NES Godzilla game? The one that's real bullshit.
I imagine it'd be called Godzilla.
Oh, right. I was incorrect. Gamera is friend of all children. Godzilla tries it, I think, sometimes. Has a couple.
Well, he has a great son. He's a loving father to his unfortunate son. His Godzilla's fail son.
Yes, there was
Godzuki.
Sometimes people call him Manila, or they call him Mini Ra when you should be calling him Mini La, because the point is like it's the pun. You have to maintain the pun. You see.
Very important, very vital.
The pun of his name being like he's like a mini Godzilla. So if you don't say it right, or if you swap basically you got to make sure you respect the L's, and you turn it into an R, it doesn't work anymore, because we're not calling him Gojira in America. He's Godzilla, King of the Lizards.
They even say the name Gojira in the disastrous 1998 Godzilla movie. They have a character say, and their name is Gojira, you idiots. And they proceed to call them Godzilla for the remainder of the movie. So who's the true idiots? I dare ask.
Matthew Broderick, I assume?
Yes, correct.
Famed manslaughterer Matthew Broderick.
Yep. Or Jean Reno, who could have been doing anything else, who could have starred in any other movie.
But, speaking of... Are we going to see another couple
possible to dodge the attacks at all?
There is a way to do a punch-out style dodge.
You hold the button and you press left or right. You hold the button that is not attack, and that way you dodge out of the attacks.
There's a dodge button?
Yes, you hold down the button, or is it backwards? It's something you can hold.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah,
there's
backwards. Or something.
The timing was still off, unfortunately, and because of that, you and your friends are dead.
What is this
awesome
combination?
That is a very good, I know there's a lot of.
In the spirit of charity, do you want to help out your your competitor in this case, and tell them what the dodge button would be, Ash?
I haven't figured it out
You
myself.
don't have to. I'm not playing this game again.
Use the torch to light the fireplace, as the game is suggesting.
Light the fireplace, but we have not lit a fire under these competitors to commit to this game, playing in the long term.
Yeah, no.
By the way, our players may be interested to know that there are 3 in-game days in this game. They're not dictated by time. They're dictated by how many times you knock Jason out. And you have not made much of a dent, sad to say.
I'm getting there. I didn't get there.
Oliver using the patented just throw your body against Jason strategy.
It is a valid strategy to some.
But we are approaching. Speaking
I
of
swear.
3 days, we are under 3 minutes. We're at 2 minutes now at this point.
2 minutes until the sweet release of death.
I've been meeting Jason for almost every now and then. I could have Sunday brunch with him now, SMH. Hey Jason, let's meet up at the same cabin where you always beat me up and kill me.
Yes, have you tried
you take your mouse cursor with you.
Take your mouse cursor with you.
Have you considered the take, as in trying to take option instead of throwing rocks at him? Maybe it will give you the option to take him out to brunch.
I want to marry this man.
Yes. I think that is all the rage. It's not the Dead by Daylight doing the thing where you're dating things you're not supposed to date normally now in their game.
Isn't it quirky how the go-to cheat code for game developer making a quote-unquote indie game is to make it a visual novel, an interchangeable game wherein you date the characters of said game or media property?
Yes, what a weird shorthand. And there are assuredly plenty of talented visual novel developers who get tapped to do this work.
No, hire just some dude from the office to make your KFC dating sim, because that's more economically viable than committing someone who can actually commit some effort toward it.
We have a minute, and we already skip. I've already done my discourse speedrun. We have no time to litigate visual novels as a medium in this show.
Visual novels are fine. It's dog shit AAA publishers who try to do the bare minimum who suck my dick.
We use them as a novelty. Yes, I understand the.
Are visual novels like the new 3 hearts in pixel art for signaling that something is a game.
Let's do an 8-bit demake.
Yeah,
that will get them.
It's definitely like a weird shorthand that will get you a lot of like free press. Like by default, you'll get like 5 to 10 write-ups automatically if you just make a visual novel of a thing. That's not typically a visual novel. See Overwatch or Apex Legends or Magic the Gathering or Dead by Daylight or KFC or...
If only there were more examples. Oh, guess what? There's a billion of them. And I believe the time has expired.
Time has expired.
Amazing. Thank God.
Counselors, hang up your lanyards.
While the game is still running, I would like to bring your attention to the animations where they throw rocks by pointing finger guns.
Yes.
And jump is like this shape.
Doesn't this remind you of Adventure Island, Ash?
I'm not sure if I've played that.
But
okay, it's okay.
Adventure Island.
Have you played the Equalizer on Commodore 64? It's a unofficial remake of Adventure Island in some ways.
What's the name of the Adventure Island guy?
That's a very good question. Let me.
I used to know his name. Master Higgins.
Well, yes.
Master Higgins. A disrespect to Master Higgins to compare him to Friday the 13th. Him and his skateboard, he wears proper protective gear. But
alas.
Ash, how are you doing?
Oh shit, Jason.
Oh shit, Jason.
Unfortunate timing.
Jason, much like a professional wrestler, we're trying to have an interview, and Jason, who's that theme music we hear? Is it?
My God, that's Jason's music.
That's Jason's music. We're trying to have. Jason has come and performed the double axe throw onto Ashes. We're trying to have a polite interview. But, so you said you were prepared for Friday. How familiar were you with Friday the 13th before the triathlon?
I believe they may be literally blinking out of existence as the game comes to a crash. I believe they might not even be able to hear or respond to us.
Oh no! Okay, I'm gonna close the game. So
yes, close the game. Let's get out of here. I'll close your little window, so we can just there we go. Window's closed. I'll close both of the competitors' windows so we can just not worry about that. And
thank God.
Exit last.
All right. So, Ash, are you here? Are you free from Camp Crystal Lake?
Probably.
Okay. So how familiar were you with Friday the 13th before this?
Yes.
Not at all? Uh-oh. Kind of going, if you're...
Everything's gone cattywampus right now.
Can you start the interview with Oliver?
Yes. Oliver, hello, how are you doing?
I'm so sleepy, but I'm doing all right, yes.
How familiar were you with Friday the 13th before this session we had here?
I tried watching a speed run, and then a walkthrough, and then I just settled for reading the plot of the movie.
Okay, so is your experience?
Now, my question. I do have a follow-up question. You did mention at some point during the playthrough, the competition, that when we offered some help, you said, "I'm never going to play this game ever again."
Yes, that's true.
Why?
Well, I don't understand everything. Something like Super Mario, I can appreciate. I don't know the effort put into it. Like, there's no need for a tutorial. This needs explanation for everything. Who's Chrissy? Who's Mark? Who are these people? Why are their names important?
See, what's incredible, and this is maybe before your time, but there used to be these things called instruction manuals where you would purchase your video game and you would read the plot and instructions that give you detailed rundown and everything on pieces of paper that you can read with your eyeballs. Because not everything could be crammed in video games back then.
Because that information was not present inside the video game itself.
Amazing. I just read the blurb. The blurb is also awful. I'll tell you that.
Well, do we have Ash? Do we have Ash available
you
for
back here?
a rebuttal?
Likely.
Perfect. It sounds like you're back. Ash, you said you prepared for this. Do you feel like your preparation paid off?
It could have, but it didn't.
You were saving a lot of kids and counselors.
But in the end, me and my friends are dead.
In the end, you and your friends are dead. And on that note, we have to. This was a fun thing, but we're running low. We have this beautiful thing where I'm kind of like behind on time now.
Yeah, so let's select our winner, I suppose, and
yes,
then we will.
You know, I want to. Let's commiserate real quick. I'm not gonna say. Listen, I'm gonna say it's Team Paradise. Ash saved a lot. She saved a lot of kids.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna say this may be a controversial take, but no one wins.
Oh, the classic. Nobody wins.
Oofy.
I'm going to say. I'm going to give this tiebreaker to despite the best effort of Oliver to light a fireplace. Maybe if Oliver had lit in a fireplace, we would have been in a different world. But the warmth I felt when those kids thanked Ash all those times, and the abundance of Speedboat Jason on Ash's screen.
I may not concur, but I can understand. I can understand where you're coming from.
I'm going to say the congratulations. I'm not going to put the little things because I have not enough time. We've got to go straight to the next segment.
So we will thank our competitors.
Thank you, Team Paradise. Thank you, Team Lame Dimension. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Oliver.
Congratulations. Mm-hmm.
You can check out their stuff. Team Paradise, Paradise Collab, as you call it. What is it? Paradise.club or .online? What is it? I forget what it's called.
It's youcanneverleave.art.
Okay, youcanneverleave.art. If you go to youcanneverleave.art, you can find all of the amazing Team Paradise contributors. There's a lot of them. They're a loose collection of people who make good and cool games. And Team Lame Dimension is just look at right there with the save, with the alley oop and the dunk in the chat. And Team Lame Dimension, what is your web? Is that just lamedimension.com or is it?
I believe it's lamedimension.moe.
Of course it is. I was gonna guess that.
I'm sorry. I did not.
No. Listen.
I did not make this website myself. Yeah.
That is quite all right.
Yes.
It is understandable.
It is lamedimension.moe. I respected the use of. I respect both uses of the alternate style of URL, the alternate domain extensions. And I applaud. You should check out all their stuff. They're listen. You could spend an entire month on both of these pages looking through all of this work. They are two prolific and talented collections of game developers that I highly recommend you check out all of their work.
They may not be able to play the game super well in some cases, but they can make the game super well.
Precisely. Some of the best you should be watching. Top of the shelf. It's why this thing exists, you know? This is so thank you for being here. Cass, what's your stuff? You've been here this whole time, my stalwart companion.
Oh, I sure have. You can find me at badgamehalloffame.com, where I talk about the bad video games and give them their due credits. And this is Cassidy signing off. Thank you for having me. It's been a hell of a day for sports fans out there. And I hope to return next year.
Yes.
We will see if we can find some more games for our competitors to play through as we return to La Bella Gama.
Thank you all for being here. I recorded this one. I'm going to stop the recording for this so I can upload it later. All right, and let's do a check-in before we're going to go